Hey, elevators. Happy Tuesday. Happy day 23 of the Elegant Elevation Elevate and 88 Summer Edition Challenge, as well as day one of Revelation. So we've been through identification, talking about who God says we are, what's our identity in Christ. 10 days of that, a day of rest and reflection. Second phase was illumination, where we shine a light on how we've been showing up as it relates to our stewardship of our time, temple, talents, and treasures. How we're showing up versus who God says we are. So is that lining up? How we steward our time, how we steward our temple, how we steward our talents, how we steward our treasures, our money, our finances, our time, prioritizing time with God, our temples, how we're treating ourselves, health and wellness, and our talents. Are we operating at our highest stability? Are we using the gifts and the talents that He gave us to serve others, to be a light and salt of the earth? Are we doing that? So that's what that was about. Now in Revelation. So we talked about who we are in Christ in the identification phase. Then phase two, in the illumination phase, we talked about just shining a light on how we're showing up. Are we showing up? Does that align with who God says we are? Are we showing up like we're fearfully and wonderfully made? Are we showing up like we're created in God's image? Are we showing up like we're the head, not the tail? That we're the lender, not the borrower? That we're above and not beneath? Are we showing up like our bodies are temples and a gift? Are we doing that? So that's what those 10 days were about. And then we had rest and reflection yesterday to say, up to this point, what have I learned during the identification process? What have I learned during the illumination process? Now day one of Revelation. So who we are in Christ, and we dealt with the how we're showing up in relationship to who God says we are. Now we're dealing with the what and the why. The why are we showing up the way that we are? So is it guilt? Is it shame? Is it fear? Is it past trauma? Is it just lazy? Is it unmotivated? What is it? Anxiety, other mental health things, depression. There could be a lot of things. Anxiety, so many different things that affect how we show up. So we start to look at why we're showing up that way. And also the reflection in the Revelation phase, what are we going to do about it? We start developing a strategy to say, what do I need to eliminate? What's aligning? What's not working? What can I replace some of my bad habits with? What new habits can I develop? So that's what the next 10 days will be about. As always, after that 10-day phase, we'll have a day. Day 11 will be rest and reflection. So again, we just want to remember our temple SOP, our temple EOPs, which are elevated operating procedures. I always put that in our post daily. We're talking about treat wellness as worship. E is for elevate your standards. M is for move to prove gratitude. That's not moving out of duty, but moving because we can. I always talk about there's people laying in the hospital that can't move, that would love to get out and walk and exercise and be able to move and exercise independently. So we don't ever want to take that for granted, take it as a chore, and say, I'm getting out of here and just properly stewarding my temple. The P is for pray and fast daily. We should be fasting, having at least, I say 16 hours of just eating nothing but water, black coffee, unflavored, unsweetened herbal tea, having 2 meals a day, possibly a snack. We're focused on nutrient-dense food, fueling our body, not about taste, not about feeding our feelings, our frustrations, what tastes good, not using food to replace things that we should be taking to God. So we're not using food to deal with frustration, boredom, anger, happiness. We're specifically prioritizing protein, healthy fibers, complex carbs, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, lean meats, plant-based protein if you're plant-based, on a plant-based diet. Completely fine, however you want to do that. The L is to live healed. Live healed. If we're dealing with any type of mental health issues, get the help we need, whether that's a counselor, a therapist, prayer, meditation, church, whatever. Deal with it. Let's heal it. It's not our fault, the past traumas we've gone through. A lot of things in our lives are not our fault, but how we respond to it. It is our responsibility to get healthy and not to harm other people in the process. So definitely live healed. I'm going through a trauma-informed leadership class right now, a year-long certification program, and I'm learning so much about why I've shown up the way I have a lot, why I've responded the way I have a lot. So that's been huge for me, and that will definitely help me coach other people to deal with their issues and get the resources that they need as well to get through that. Because you can have the best diet plan in the world, you can work out every day, but if you don't change your mindset, if you don't get healthy and healed, you will continue to revert back to those old coping strategies and methods. Last but not least, encourage yourself and empower others. So want to live by those daily. Remember, faith, our fast transformation. F is for faith. A is for alignment. S is for stewardship. Leads to T, that is transformation. As always, have the best blessed day. Don't worry, we got this. Remember, wellness is worship. Love y'all.